Hello everyone, Radiokenny back with the continuation of the anatomy of the x13 combo. We'll continue a little bit by talking about the x12 and how I got it and a few other levels that maybe it was possible on and how that led into the 13 combo. At the time, as I said in the previous video, Doc Schmock and Rogatin were working on the 12X and I was working on the 12X also. I know that it's been achieved on the tower, the reverse tower, and the gateway, and I thought a few other levels might be able to have a 12X, but I wasn't for sure. I was doing that research actually to figure that out, and a few variables had to be in there. Number one, we only got the X12 because of a bit of code that was copy and pasted into the auto ballista to give it an extra combo point. It wasn't actually ever supposed to have an extra combo point, so people didn't really think that the X12 was possible. Number one, it was just because of an error that we actually got to do the X12, so people definitely thought the X13 wasn't, because number one, you have to use all of the slots and then you have to use this little error to get it, and there was no other way to do it. As I moved on and started thinking about that a little bit and had a little bit of theory in my head on what levels I could do a X12 combo on and which ones I couldn't do a combo on, a lot of the levels went to the wayside for certain reasons. If they were early levels, you didn't make enough money to set up a proper kill box like I did in the previous video. You just had maybe 3 waves, you didn't make enough money, so therefore you couldn't set up something to make an X12. So immediately those were eliminated. Whether it was the beginner's level, the war mage level, or the nightmare level, there's not enough money to actually pull it off. So early levels, even if they have the configuration or the box to do it, they're out of the question. You cannot do it, just simply because you don't have enough money. Number two, levels with barriers are eliminated because we have to have all of the slots for combos and traps. If you have to use barriers on a level, you have to eliminate a trap. That eliminates a combo point. You're never going to get the X12 on that level. And you're definitely not going to get an X13 if there was such a thing ever possible, because you are missing a slot. So therefore, any levels like the Twin Halls or Finale or different ones, I believe the Lunch Break, they all had to be able to use a barrier with current strategy. So they're all out of the question at the time. So one night I was in a chat and I was listening to an interview with Justin Korthoff, which is also known as 6OK, the community manager at Robot Entertainment. At that point, Rogatin is in the chat listening to the interview with me and quite a few other players, and he says the 13 combo is likely. We can do this. It is possible. And everybody's saying, no, whatever, pipe dream, you're chasing rainbows, you are not going to be able to get this, you can't do it. And even the devs at Robot are like, nope, can't do it. I asked him, it's not in the code, whatever, it's not possible. And Rogatin just won't let go. He just keeps saying it can. And then he throws out, what if we use some of the traps or some of the static barrels or the rolling log or the chandelier or different things in the game? If we can set up a kill box and then have a chandelier fall on their head or something like that, we could do 13. And you know what? He was right. No one was listening to him, but he was actually right. And at this point, I said, you know what? This guy may have something. He may be onto something. If you could find a place in the game where you could use these different things and use these extra, well, you have a static archer that you could use that's in the game when you start. There's some boom barrels. There's a chandelier. There's these lava and acid tip pots that you could use, but no one knew if they even added to combo points for one. So I didn't know if they actually added to it. We had to figure out first whether they ambo point or they even moved into the mix. So it was just a theory. No one actually knew if it could be possible or not. And then we had to find a place to where all of these things came together. It had to be a level without barriers. It had to be a level that had an org or a frost org, a fire org that we could get to come straight at us and hit that kill box perfectly as it came through. That's a pretty big deal to try to figure all of this out. And so I'm searching for all of these different variables within levels. I'm running around them. I'm looking and seeing what's going on. And it dawns on me that you can probably pull off an X12, and I hadn't even proved it yet, on the twin hulls. And actually, Rogatin brought up the twin hulls in the chat and said, you know, maybe it could be done in the twin hulls. And I thought about it just a bit. And I said, you know what? I don't even remember if there is a ogre that comes out in the twin hulls at the War Mage level. But you know what? If an ogre comes out in the twin hulls at the War Mage level, and I can isolate him, and there's 6 boom barrels on that level, and I can set up that trap on one of the sides. They have kind of equal sides on each side. It's a symmetrical level where everything that's on the right side is on the left side, everything on the left side that's on the right side, and it's very easy to set up our kill box either way. Then I can get this. I can figure this out. Well, I played all the way through War Mage, and guess what? I beat the level without using barriers on War Mage difficulty. I said this can be done now because one of the last things that come out in the 9th wave is the ogre. And so one of the last things is he can come down. I can set up all of the trap. I can set up the kill box, get him ready. I can lay the boom barrel right in the middle of it. And then when he comes down, shoot him, shoot everything, set it off, and we have a 13x. It is theoretically possible. But I needed to test it. So that's where some mod files came in, and this is where Rogatin now sends me a modded file to test this theory. And I get 6 chances per run. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you a video real quick of how I set up all of this and how I got the kill box set, the barrel set behind me, got everything timed out, and I'm going to do it using a modded file, and then I'll show you how to do it in the real game later on, but in the normal game. But let's look at a little video of how the setup is and how it works, and then how I actually pulled off the X13. Okay, we are inside the twin halls now. Let's take a look at what we're trying to set up here. We're trying to set up basically the same kill boxes we did on the gateway earlier. And where does the extra X1 come from to make 13X? Well, it comes from boom barrels. I said, you know what? We can get the boom barrels. We do the 12X and add a barrel, and that's how we basically, oops, I'm going to knock that down. And that's how we basically get the X13 in theory, if it even shows up. And I thought it could show up for a couple different reasons. Number one, they didn't think they could do the X12. It wasn't in the game. And the X12 showed up and gave credit on the score, so it obviously wasn't like a pre-rendered JPEG file that was just a graphic that showed everybody that they had done it. It was actually something that was more dynamic, and as you made each one, it did some type of calculation, and then kind of like a certain font showed you what was going on. So I was going to stack up all of these barrels here, and there's 6 total, and when I use the modded onslaught file, then I would be able to have 6 chances each time to get this X13. So I'm not going to go and grab all of them, but you kind of get what the theory is here. Barrels here, and then we basically have the same type of setup with the roof and with the sidewalls here that we could have done in the gateway to get the X12. A little bit different. We had archers usually in this area, but we're going to do basically the mirror of that. And the mirror of that is to have the archers over here shooting instead of where they were before on this side shooting this way. So same thing, we're just going to mirror it. I guess I could have set it up on the other side, but the problem is in the game, on the normal level when it comes down, the last ogre that you really want to get, he comes down this hallway. To get a true X13 in normal play, it would have to be on this side. So what did we set up? We set it up just like before, and I'll do it real quick because if you watch the first video, you'll probably know what's going on. Tar, elf, pounder, lightning ring, brimstone, shocker, floor trap, grinder, auto ballista. And there's a couple things that are different from the one before that I'll have to show you. And I don't know why some of this is, but I'll kind of explain it as I go. We start off, we have brimstone in the front. 1, 2, 3. It's even with this. We put tar behind that. So we slow him down after he takes off running. 2 grinders. Grinder. Oops, I have to start the level. Sorry, I don't have enough money. I forgot that I was inside of a modded file there for just a second. Let me release the hounds real quick and kill him and get my money. one headshot, and we have 100,715 coins. So we have a lot to show with now. Okay, now we have 2 grinders, just like before, except they're on this side because we want the elves to be able to shoot from here. Bam. Go ahead and throw those pounders in the ceiling. And we'll put the shockers in the middle. And we'll put the auto ballistas to the side. A little bit different theory here with the auto ballistas is, for some reason on this level, if you have them pointed this way, they'll shoot down the hall and hit people. We don't want that. We want them to shoot. They'll actually take part of a turn. And so what I wanted to do is you want to actually face them to the right. 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. So they're faced here, but they'll actually take a quick right turn and shoot somebody right here. So as he gets even, as the ogre's running down through here, when he wants to take this path, as we said before, over the shockers, then they'll take a quick right. They won't turn all the way around and shoot behind him, but they'll take a quick right and shoot whoever's right here. And that's, boom, how we get them. Now, in the game, we have a limited amount of money to set this trap up, and we don't need the ones on the right, so I put 4 burner, 4 burner, 4 burner, 4 burner. I don't think I have enough money by the time we get to the point at which we have to pull off the actual x13 in regular play to get 2 more floor burners here like before. So in the first one, I didn't put one of these pounders up front. I just put one in the back here, and then sometimes I put another one back here. But I didn't have the choice because I don't have as much ceiling room as I did on the gateway, so I went ahead and put one up front here, hoping that this would work in theory. Elves. I want them to only be able to see that grinder right there. See it? Bam. There's one. And don't stack your elves like this. If you stack your elves like this, they shoot each other in the back of the head and it does nothing. Do not line them up. Get yourself one here with a clear shot, one here with a clear shot, and then kind of stagger them. That way you'll get 4 shots off, but they're not shooting down the hall, hitting the person before they get here. Kind of like this, I'm walking around, I don't see an elf, I don't see an elf, I don't see an elf, and right as I get right in the kill zone here, look, I can see him. So you want them hidden back there. This is the setup that we have. Straight through here, if we can get him to run down the middle, awesome. We can get that X12 like we did before. So we've used the tar, we have the lightning ring, we have the crossbow, pounders, shockers, 4 burners, everything ready to go and get it. When I cast, I usually cast from about right here. Boom. So I cast, then I run to this position, and I'm going to shoot him. The reason I do is because most of them take a track. Most of the ogres take a track right through here, and then when they see me, they're drawn to me when they get within a certain range, and they will usually run across this, which will give them a shock, and then into the grinders. So the path is usually here, 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 bam, and they're hit. And if they die here, somewhere within this area here, I'll usually get that 12x. And that's how the setup is. Of course, you have to upgrade things. Let's go to the Steel Weaver. Steel Weaver, accept it. Death Augmenter, oiled gears rather. Overcoiled springs, jagged steel, guardian armor, burning pitch. We know we have 2x and on the ceiling ballistas, and we have 2x on the archers now with the flaming arrows. So we're looking good. We have our setup. You can get this by the end of the level if you do not use barriers, and he makes it. And what I figured out real quick was that on the War Mage level on Twin Halls, you can beat it without using barriers. You may not be able to do it on Nightmare mode, but you can do it on War Mage, and that opened a whole lot more possibilities here. So you get 1 shot during the level, and that's it to try to pull it off. Let's go ahead and watch me pulling it off with a modded file and getting the X13. I'll pull off an X12 and an X13 to show you the difference by placing the barrel there and doing it. So let's just look at it, and you can see it pulled off in modded play, and then I'll show you how you do it actually in normal play too. Okay, let's go ahead and unleash the horde now. I've got everything set up. Here comes our org that's in the regular level in the regular game. He's coming at me. I try to coax him just a bit here to the left because sometimes he stays a little bit too far to the other side. So I'm trying to get him as close as I can to that zapper. If he follows this cobblestone down here and gets set up, then he'll definitely die. So let's see if we can just get an X12. Cast the lightning, run up, he comes at me, boom, shot, X12. Did you see it there? So I got an X12 and I haven't used the barrel yet, so the X13 seemed possible to me. Here he comes again, shot, right down the middle, X12 again. So I know it's possible. Let me grab this barrel here, get it set. We'll try for the X13. Maybe our timing will be right. Here he comes. Oh, never mind. Sorry, a little bit early. 11. We'll see if we can pull off the 13, or a couple 13s maybe. Here he comes, barrel set. Boom, there it is. X13, guys. That's how it was accomplished. Let's see if we can get one more before we close out. Set it down, shoot him, get it up. Ah, never mind. Hold on, that was a little too quick. I'm doing too much talking and not enough playing. Okay, set up. Here we go, give us one more. And there's the Holy Grail again. And that's kind of how it worked. The X13. And this is available in normal play on the Twin Halls. You get one chance to do it exactly like this. It's in the 9th wave. I'll show you where that org is released and you get to do it. Here, we'll go to the video of that right now. I don't have a video of an X13 in normal play. I actually messed up. I had to try to get a screenshot. Silly me. I was trying to actually make this video and test a few things and got an X13 in normal play, and I tried to slap the keyboard so fast to get a screenshot of it that I minimized the game and messed it up. But I have got a X13 combo in regular play, or in normal play, as I should say, just playing the level normally on the War Mage difficulty. I'll go ahead and have him run down the hall here and see if we can get another one. And maybe I'll pull it off by luck here. If not, I'm not going to spend hours and hours and hours trying to make another screenshot or video of showing it in normal play. But you understand where it comes from, and that's basically the theory that went behind it in doing it. So let's go ahead and show you the 9th wave real quick, and the ogre coming down to show that he does come singly down that hallway and comes at you, and then you can cast. I might get the timing right, I might not, but at least you'll know that it is possible and it has been done, and maybe you can try it yourself sometime and see if you can also get the X13 combo. So let's watch it here.